All right. Man, feels good to get a win. And, I thought we did what we had to do tonight to deserve victory. And I thought that was the most important part, for us to make sure that we just came out and looked like a Furman team. And, we've gotten a little bit outside of identity a little bit, and some of that's on me, having to do a better job of getting us into structure and demanding that we take great shots and demanding that we depend on one another and play off of one another. And, I thought we had a really good Monday and Tuesday in preparation for this game, and I thought that led into victory tonight. I think one of the hardest things in coaching right now especially is everybody has a voice and everybody has an opinion. And, you can go on Twitter and you can find as many as you want. And you can find everybody that can tweet and, whatever they want to say and whatever opinions they want to have and what they think needs to be done. I think one of the hardest things in coaching right now is to get a group to collectively say, hey, this is what we have to do. This is what we have to buy into. This is what needs to be fixed. And sometimes when you're in the middle of a 3-game skid, that's hard to do. You can get into blaming. You can get into criticizing. You can get into defending yourself and blaming somebody else. And I thought what our program, from me to our staff to our players, did a great job of is, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, we all have to accept responsibility for this, and we have to go fix it. And the way we have to fix it is we got to be able to look at this and say, hey, where does this not look like that we're at identity, and where do we have to get back to it? And what we did, I'll be honest with you, we, a lot of times you think after those losses, I come in here and just, the old picture of coaching, just yelling and all the stuff that didn't go well. Can't make a shot. I woke up early Sunday morning, couldn't sleep great. Obviously, we got back in late, and I decided to watch our Chattanooga game last year at Chattanooga. And I wanted to compare the two because we went up there to Chattanooga last year with our back on the wall. And I wanted to see just the response, and I wanted to see how we played and how we looked and what the ball movement was like. And it was incredible to see it, just the trust and the dependence on our system and our concepts that team had last year with an NBA player out there and another 3-time All-League player out there, and how much easier the game looked, And we had last year up there, we were down 13-6 as well, just like we were this year. And we came in here Monday and we took both games from 13-6 and we just went clip 1, clip 1, clip 2, clip 2, clip 3, clip 3, clip 4, clip 4. And we just let them watch it. And we just let them, hey, what do you see here? And it was a jaw-dropping moment for everybody in the program, even staff. Wow, the ease of the game in terms of, when I say the ease of the game, just the ability to get cleaner, better looks because you're actually depending on one another, not trying to do it all yourself. The utilization of the cut, the utilization of respacing, trusting concepts, not just trying to put the ball down and go make a play or do your own thing. We took 11 bad shots in that game last year up there. Mike and Slaw took a combined 5. Right, and if you could have any player that would say, hey, I can get out of this a little bit, it'd be those two. They took 5, right? We took 26 bad shots on Saturday to our grading system, okay? And unfortunately for us, we can't, no team can do that, right? You sit there and say, we can't make shots. Well, we didn't earn the right to make shots, right? We didn't work to get the quality looks. And I think everybody kind of saw it. And we went out there Monday and really worked on it, just trusting, moving, spacing. Definitely played a little smaller tonight. I think 13th starting lineup. Not how I want to be doing it. I would like to settle in here and hopefully get Marcus back soon and we can really settle into it. But I think playing Alex at the 4 gives us the ability to space the floor a little bit more. And, I think Kirby Smart said it. Everybody talks about the benefit of leadership and how important leadership is. Very few people talk about the cost of leadership. And I think it was SEC Media Days. He went through the 3 costs of leadership. And the first one was you have to make decisions that can impact people you care about in a negative way. And we had to play some guys less tonight, guys that I care greatly about, and guys that fight really hard in our program and are going to continue to fight. I thought they gave tremendous energy. And I thought it wasn't that, hey, well, they're not helping us. It was more so just the spacing. It was more so just, another thing that popped out in that Chattanooga game last year. We had 7 guys that were spacing, and we had 2 posts, and we just played, right? And for the most part, we had 7 guys out there at all times that could make a shot. And, you had 3 guards, 3 wings, and Slaw kind of a hybrid. And you had Garrett and Tyrese running the 5. And, we tried to play a little bit more like that tonight. And then all of a sudden we had 28 assists. How many threes did we make? I don't even know. I think we made 11. Is that right?
13.
13. Okay, all of a sudden looked like we made 18 in 4 games, and so the cost of leadership, the hard parts, having those conversations, and some guys that you want to get minutes for that we just had to trust. Hey, this is how we got to play, and I thought because of that, I thought we were able to get some better action, get the ball in the paint a little bit easier, get some more movement around the edges, and we end up with 28 assists. So proud of our response, and proud for them to be able to look at that, confront the brutal facts, but then have an unwavering faith that we can get there.
Coach, obviously the offense got back to Furman basketball, 33 makes, 28 assists, bunch of threes. But as it always is, it starts with defense, and I thought really the defense you played against PJay Smith and Elijah Morgan, they were 2 leading scorers. I think Morgan especially has been pretty hot lately. Those guards, I think, was a big part of the win tonight.
Well, I tell you, it's been a little bit of our luck, right? Like Brown Jones been out for a couple weeks, and then play us, and he's back. AJ's been out a couple weeks, and play tonight, and he's back. And you know what? That's great. I'm glad. I'm hoping we're going to get healthy here soon. And they still have. I mean, Hill's a big guy that's really, really good. That's out for them. And Ed just does an incredible job. I actually love watching them play and just how creative he is. And they've got some really, really good stuff, and they really stress you downhill. And really, They've played a little bit unconventional with 2 bigs a lot, and then when Walter got hurt, when Hill got hurt in the Western Carolina game, it didn't allow him to play quite as much 2 big, and so now for them to get AJ back was a big addition because now they just got multiple. I mean, you got Durr and you got AJ getting downhill on you, and then you got Morgan that can make shots out there, and the freshman we knew. I mean, his percentage wasn't what you thought it would be for a shooter. We knew he was a shot maker, and so. And then they got a kid that basically started for Vanderbilt some of the year last year down there at the 5. And, so we knew we were going to be stressed. I thought we did a better job in the second half, especially. We quit switching some of the actions. He was really exploiting some of the switches with some fake handoffs and some duck ins. And so we went away from the switching, and we just tried to keep a little bit of a tighter floor. And we let him get the ball in the post a little bit. And, and then we let him get a couple of downhill attacks to the rim. But, man, we had that stretch there, I agree, Scott, where it felt like, all right, we're forcing some tough ones, and then we're boarding it, and we're running, and then we're moving it. And it looked like good Furman basketball.
When a team is going bad, or the reverse, there's always that situation where one team is going, oh, what's going to happen this time? And the other team they're giving us hell, but we're going to figure something out. Your team, to me, looked like that latter team for the first time because sometimes things you can't notice when you're watching on TV but you're at courtside. The team looked loose, relaxed, and all systems go tonight.
I told him, I mean, at some point we were going to turn it. We weren't going to shoot 16% the rest of the year as long as we played the right way. I think one of the biggest things that we talked about this week is, you hear a lot of coaches talk about body language, and it's so easy to say, hey, we got to have better body language. Okay, your body language isn't good. But I think it's kind of like you go to the doctor and you say, hey, doc, I don't feel good. And he's like, well, hey, you probably need to carry yourself better, or, like lift that arm up. I know it's hurting, but and I think sometimes you got to get underneath that. Like what's creating the bad body language? And for us, you could tell like just a little bit of lack of belief, right? Like we a little bit of a confidence dip, lack of belief in ourselves. Lack of belief in, hey, this is how we're going to generate shots, or, hey, lack of belief that we can get stops here. And we really just talked about a lot of just, hey, the foundation of our program, what's it been built on, is to be the greatest teammates, to fly around on D and to move and value the ball, and really just understand, like, hey, you've got to go out there tonight and you got to believe at the end of the day, if we can go out there and play the identity's going to win out. And we cannot lose faith for 40 minutes in that. And I thought we had one little dip there in the second half. I mean, even when they made their run in the first half, I thought our energy was still pretty good. But in the second half, they made that little run. They cut it to 4, I think, 48-44. And you could see the facial expressions, just that face of kind of like, oh, what's going on? Well, they're really well coached. They got really good concepts. They beat Notre Dame by 20, I believe, right? They played Boston College tough. I mean, these guys have had a really – I mean, he's one of the best coaches. I'm telling you, conceptually they do an unbelievable job. they're playing, okay? Like, this is a game of basketball. Like, A. Will's not going to just make every shot from here on out. And we took that time out, and that's all we talked about. We in team meeting, Phil Jackson was always infamous for this. And, occasionally when I feel like we got to loosen guys up, we'll show a little movie clip and film. They think they're coming in and watching all this, clip. And we showed the Happy Gilmore clip today in film of really, the Happy Place clip of just him at the putting deal and just, missing the putt and just going in there and just tearing the thing down. And, hey, you got to find your happy place. And, the guys are laughing. We're cutting up and cuts off. And it's like, but, hey, that's how you got to play this game. And I took that time out to just calm down. Don't lose your belief, right? Like, go out there and keep playing the game. And sure enough, we ran that action on the side. JP hits a 3. We go up 7. We get the stop. We come down in transition. A. Will hits the 3. Now you're up 10. And then I thought from there we really started to string some stops together, and I think we got it to 20 at one point. But the game's going to test you. Good coaches and good programs and good teams are going to test you. We've got to have the mental toughness to be able to endure those, and I thought we did a much better job of that tonight.
As compared to the Chattanooga game, I thought tonight you made them guard you all over the floor because, the screen and roll particularly, I think opened up things. And I don't know if that's dictated by cutting, because I'm not a coach, but how much of that? I know there was one pass that Carter threw that was he threw the pass before Ben was even there. Kind of what you were talking about, trust. Just talk about how much more the offense worked tonight because of the cutting, as opposed to
I mean, it's all really just for us. It's just. We've always just tried to play good, fast tempo. If we don't have anything, what we say around here is we want to bridge to our concepts and get in as quick as we can. And I thought that was the biggest thing that really popped on the film Monday is they saw how much Slauson and Bothwell were making us bridge. Don't just play freelance, right? We have to get in concept. And when we do it and we cut and we move and we space well, we get good shots. And I think tonight we did play more specifically with A. Will at the 4 to space the floor a little bit more. And I definitely think the two things both worked to make us look more like us, right? We weren't, you pop the Chattanooga film on and, the term, if you paint somebody, right, they're on the perimeter and you just put their guy in the paint. Well, it's hard to cut if they got 2 or 3 guys sitting in the paint. It's hard to get to the rim and get the layups we want to get when they got guys, they're painting. And Chattanooga was really able to do that. And typically we haven't allowed that because we put multiple shooters out there. And I think A. Will at the 4, he just pulls another guy out there. And so now if you have willing cutters and you got willing ball movers, now it makes it look like we've been practicing for 10 hours the last 2 days, didn't it? It looked like, good grief, these guys, this looks totally different, But it just, we know how to do it, It's how we play, it's who we are. And, man, it was fun. It was just fun to see it.
Coach, I know it wasn't any kind of it was just a decision based on how you wanted to kind of play tonight. But, man, I thought when PJay Smith and Garrett Hien got in there off the bench, they were locked in, no matter, even in this different role for them tonight. Well,
I met with both of them individually yesterday, and I was really clear with both of them that this was not to reduce minutes. This was more so really, the decision on Garrett was more so, hey, we're moving A. Will to the 4, so are we taking Reese out of the starting lineup or G? And I just felt like Reese has played really, really hard the last 2 games, and I wanted to reward that. And Reese, look, that's why they're both good when you got to deal with both of them, because they both present different things. Reese's ability to sprint roll is elite, and you saw some of that on display tonight at the 5. He just sprints roll. He's on the rim fast. And, Garrett, he's a guy that can really get to second and third actions. He's an elite passer, knows offense like the back of his hand. And so, when you got to deal with both those guys, and then now because of Reese's shooting ability, we can put Reese at the 4 a little bit when A. Will's out. It just gives us 2 dimensions there. And, you think early days when Slaw was younger, how we used to play him up there, and he was just kind of learning it. You think Noah had to learn it, Tyrese has been out both summers, so he hadn't gotten a ton of reps up there. But he gives us a physical presence. He gives us a presence on the rim, and he's also somebody that can step out and knock one down. And so when you look at the numbers, you gotta guard him out there. And I think having both those guys ready. PJ, same thing. Like, he and Carter were both going to be slotted for 25 to 30 minutes tonight based on the decision of how we were going to play. It was just a situation where I feel like Carter's really shown some progress here lately. And, I wanted PJ to play more aggressive. I want PJ to understand, like, you got to, and we talked about this yesterday. I was talking to another coaching friend in the industry, and, you are what the baseball card says you are. Like, the baseball card says that he is a 40% plus shooter, right? Not what your last 3 games are. You're human. Like, he shot 46% the last 2 years from 3, right? Regardless of how much of a drought we've been on the last 4 games, he's still at 37. Okay, you can't play games and only shoot 3 shots, right? Like, you got to get the ball up. And PJ's a little bit of a perfectionist, right? He wants to make every single one of them. And I got to continue to help him with that understanding. Hey, look, we're just going to play the law of averages. We're going to go take great ones, and we're just going to keep throwing them up there. And you're going to make 410 when this thing's all said and done, because that's what the baseball card says, right? That's your body of work. And I've got to do a better job with him of just continuing to daily instill that confidence in him, because he gives us a different piece when he's out there firing. And, it makes it fun to watch.
I think everybody here who watched that game had a marvelous time watching the game. It was smooth, it was entertaining. The team look ahead to Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, look, I got a lot of respect for Brooks. Brooks and I came up in the business as assistants, and spent a lot of time, together. And I've always had a lot of respect for his work ethic, and just, he's always affected winning, and through recruiting and scouting, and he's a friend, and he's done a great job up there. I mean, I've gotten to watch him a few times, and he's got those guys, he's got them playing well, and so we're gonna have our hands full. It don't matter. I'm just telling you, y'all don't want to hear it. Y'all think it's coach speak. Hey, this league is balanced, and it's gonna be ETSU went to East Carolina and got bought and won by double figures. Like, they're gonna play hard, and they're gonna run good stuff, and he's got him playing good, and so Furman ETSU, I mean, ever since I've been here, I know this, like, those have been wars, right? I mean, it's once we started getting the program right here when I was an assistant, I mean, I remember it just Nico versus Forbes. I mean, it was just wars, and then it's kind of always continued, and so we know we're gonna have a challenge on our hands Saturday afternoon, home game, usually pretty fun in Timmons Arena. Should have a great crowd. And, obviously coming off a win, hopefully we continue to see what gave us – we earned the right to win tonight due to how we played, and the fact that we stuck to identity and we played Furman basketball, and it's going to be no different on Saturday. We gotta go out there, and we gotta play to what the values of the program are.
I thought, Carter played well in many respects on the offensive end, but I think maybe probably his best defensive game. Could you just talk about it? It seems like he's progressively getting better on that end of the floor each game, and tonight, I think, from my eyes or my perspective, I thought it was his best of the season. Can you just talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think with Carter, confidence is a funny thing, up or down. And, I've been really proud of Carter's fight in the last year and a half. And it has not been an easy road for him. And he's gotten one championship. He made an impact on that team in a big, big way. We infused him in that lineup. We ended up winning 15 of 17 from that point forward. And he came back this summer. His work ethic increased. He's in here every day. My office is right by Coach Groves. That's his position coach. I mean, I think he's in here every day, watching film, getting shots, pops in my office. What do you see? What do I have to get better at? And, what I challenged Carter on tonight was just go play your strengths. You have elite vision. You've got elite creativity with the ball, right? You're an elite passer, okay? Take some pressure off of yourself to make all these perimeter shots and just go play, right? Like, just go hoop. And, I was looking at the box score a couple of timeouts. I mean, he hadn't scored at some points, and he was a plus 20, plus minus. I mean, it was like he was affecting winning, because now all of a sudden he's putting pressure on the paint. And when he doesn't turn the ball over and he's got to continue to use his breaks. I thought he had a really good play in the first half late where he used his breaks. He stopped, came on 2 feet, and he showed the ball. The defender left his feet. He stepped through, and I think he was so surprised he was open that he just kind of shorted the finish. And, I told him, I said, that is a great play. Like that play right there is a lot better than you launching and looking, right? Like you came to 2, you stopped, you're in the middle of the paint. Now all of a sudden you got 4.9 seconds to make a play. And once here's the thing with Carter, he's not finished growing. I'm telling you. I'm just telling you. I'm around him every day. I'm just telling you. Like his game is getting better and his confidence is going to keep growing and he's going to keep getting better. And what you're going to see is you're going to see a guy that can get the ball in the paint. You're going to see his confidence grow to where he's taking care of the ball and he's learning how to stop. He's getting better there. And then all of a sudden these shots are going to start to go and it's going to be a problem. And, I think that it's a great lesson. It doesn't always happen in a month. It doesn't always happen in 6 months. But, man, he is fought. And to see his impact on that game tonight, I do agree. I think he's playing better defensively. A couple of times he got driven, but overall, he made some pretty tough plays on the ball. And people are still trying to go at him. We can see that. But the more he answers the bell and puts that on film, I think that obviously, he's going to continue to get better on that side of the ball as well.
I know you've often spoke of encouraging guys to keep shooting, even when things are not, going the best. It doesn't seem like Alex Williams ever needs that talk. I mean, to have the game he did the shooting night he did the other night, and to come out here 5 for 5 right off the bat, it kind of speaks to he's not afraid ever, is he?
Did you see the last play? Did you see the last play of regulation? I'm standing right by him, okay? And this is what makes him great. All right, this is what makes Alex great is because you don't want to say he doesn't care. He thinks he's making every shot, right? And that's where I got to continue to help him and teach him, like, capability versus what you can master are 2 different things, right? Like, play the percentages. Yeah, you're capable of making all these shots. I get that. But listen, just trust to take the great ones, and you're going to be fine. So right there, I'm telling him to drive it, right? Drive it. And he kind of jabs. And he shoots it, and he basically tells me that it's going in before the ball even hits the rim. And I'm just like, good grief, boy, But that, and he misses, and he looks at me, starts laughing. He's like, man, it was in. I'm telling you. But his ability to have the confidence to understand that he thinks he's making everything. So now, if you can, it's the golf cart. You got to put the governor on a little bit, right? Like, yes, I know you can make a bunch of shots. But what if we get you great ones? What are these percentages going to be? And now, if they know you're going to shoot them all, they're going to raid you. They're going to load you, right? If you can get in the paint, you can pivot, you can pass out. It's going to make it a lot harder for people to really send multiple defenders at you, and then you get to play with more space. It's one of the greatest paradoxes in offense, right? Like, well, I got to go shoot, and I got to drive, and I got to score. Well, it becomes really predictable on how to guard you, right? Send a second defender at you, right? And so as we get him better at playing at the end of his drives, I think you're going to continue to see him grow. But no, he doesn't think he's ever missing, which I love, because when he gets going like that, that confidence is what gives him the ability to make all those shots. But we got to continue to help him see, like, hey, these are the ones that we want. I think we can still get more out of him as a cutter. He had a great cut tonight. I think we can also continue to utilize ways to post him, and to really use that Barkley dribble and get some things out of the post. But he's a talent. He is a talent, and out of necessity, we've been playing him at the 3 with Marcus out. But I'm looking forward to having Marcus and A-Will out there together, and you got 2 guys that can really 6'5", can put the ball on the deck, can score at the rim, and can make shots. And then you have JP, Carter, PJ, and then you got Ben out there cutting. Got G, you got Tyrese, you got Cooper and Dave coming in there. Like once we get this thing to full speed and full health, and we continue to play to our identity, this team's not done. And gonna be no quitting this staff, gonna be no quitting this team. And I think anybody that was in the arena tonight could see that. All right, good seeing y'all. See y'all Sunday or Saturday. Let's give us another one.